on to stage 2, and they can show it right now versus a very good team that we just highlighted in, who was Solars, now is Rad.
Yeah, got to see how the duelists are also going to fare up against each other here in this equation, and see which of these maps we're going to be going on to, because obviously that does also influence some of the pick and bans that we've already seen thus far. You talk about the Mantis, you talk about the Venom earlier on before, and maybe seeing some more of that Phoenix action, as of course we've been seeing that tread on even after the start of Season 4.
Vicky's got Intergalactic. I have Rad. One of us is correct. Let us know in the chat who you guys think is going to take the crown here in this matchup. Now, right now, we go into the pick and ban phase, and we kick things off right away. And Vicky, as a shout-out, winning team plays either Odyssey or Dreamland. So they've got, you know, they definitely have their work cut out for them as we look at our first bans, Emma and Mantis.
See now, as Emma's off the table, Mantis, we already know how Mantis was the problem, as Intergalactic prioritizes the protect on the Emma Frost. That makes me wonder if we're going to see similar shenanigans to what we had seen in our last series with the Emma paired up together with the Groot Walls.
I believe it's Blur that we saw with Emma a lot, so we'll have to see if they end up picking that exact thing up. Guru showcasing a little Angela. Again, we saw Angela, just a taste of the new hero yesterday briefly. So it'll be fun to see if this hero, who I think will do better in the pro scene, you know, maybe we get a buff or two. But, you know, I think it has so much to offer in a triple Vanguard lineup. Strange being banned right away shows a lot of respect, and I see why. But the Adam Protect, we now know Gale going Adam on Domination, that's a big win.
Yeah, that's a good priority there too, as they delete the equation from the Mantis and Ultron being a problem specifically from Intergalactic, as they make sure that they're going to prioritize these bans on the strategists. You know what this could force out here now in this situation? It could force Intergalactic to then maybe play a Loki, which then could be the green light for Rad to use that Bucky reset as we've always seen.
Now, looking at what we've got here for Intergalactic, I mean, Dogman we've got the ban there on Magneto to shut down. I mean, when you look at what Guru can play, they have such a wide variety of usage. Look at this save on Angela. Listen, sometimes you have the streamers for the content, you know? That's the content save right there in the biggest stage possible.
On Hell's Head? Oh, interesting. Okay. We've got to see how Guru's going to cook out here, too. Make sure you look out for those environmental KOs as the protection onto the Invisible Woman, because at Rad Esports, Intergalactic, are out here like, all right, well, it looks like our strategists were on the sticks because there's not much that we can work with 3 of the bans prioritized onto those strategists.
Listen, the man has spoken tons about the hero, and I don't think this is a troll pick. I think we have unique comps can win this thing. I'm telling you, we saw it in Rad whenever we saw them win the whole thing. People had to adjust. I mean, the entire time when I was interviewing people in China pre the tournament, hey, what team do you think was the best? They were like Rad by a mile because their unique play. Hey, same org, Vicky, different team, carrying on the mantra that they put there in the MEA. Love to see it here. First map up, Hell's Heaven. We're right back with Hydra.
I do have to pinpoint too, I like the decision to protect the Invisible Woman when they first see the protect on the Angela, because you know when it comes to disrupting the placement and Angela in general, something I've experienced within my own personal games when trying out the Vanguard, Invisible Woman is so good at making sure Angela cannot be in the right position.
Yeah, look at here. I mean, there's so many ways that you can utilize this comp, and I thought we'd see more of it, and so we're going to see, again, what they've been cooking up. This team scrimmed a lot. They know exactly kind of how they want to put this thing together, but when the teams clash, that is when we're going to get the story. Wow, look at the right down the middle there, Vic, for which team is going to win it. 47% Rad, 53% Intergalactic.
Chat is as split as us basically here, Cozy. I don't blame them. Oh, okay. Okay, nice little freeze. And the protect, by the way, with that invisible, just Invisible Woman shield right there that you saw just in case. But the interruption came out, and that kind of put a dent to their plans here because the portal was already used up, and it did stop them amidst that Invisible Woman shield being placed there.
Yeah, here's where Bedtime Story, a lethal Peter Quill. We see a lot of this last time with him, and he's right back to it. Regis is another Star-Lord, but it's good to see them. Super Gomez. All these players are ready to roll. Pizza Demon, an absolute demon there on the shark. But Bedtime Story going down quickly. Dogman getting the quick pick there. Absolute cinema Emma opening up with that aggression and point now as they're forced to back up just a tad. They can keep momentum forward, and this is where you have Angela is not always the greatest for that front line. Flying around, you see her, can't get that early pick. Gilbert goes down. This is a rough start here for Rad.
Sometimes all you need is the fly swatter, and I guess in this case, Dongmin being able to call out the bad positioning of we saw from that Star-Lord before we see the swap up now. The Phoenix on board here. Pizza Demon already having its Jeff, just trying to see if they could hold that for Fidel to call in that invisible boundary where they expect them to already be grouped together for it.
That's a good call out here. Bedtime Stories now resetting. That was the first to drop. And I worry a little bit about their sustainability on this particular lineup. Again, it's a bit funky, but sometimes that can work. And sometimes it kind of relies around these ability ultimates here. They are all online, ready to go. You've got that res. Gale, very smart player, Vicky, when it comes to awareness and where to be for that big perfection play here. As they're pushing in, Gilbert now going in. There's the prison. He's got the walls and perfect boundary. You've got the Phoenix to follow, but it is... Oh, my God.
This is what I was talking about. That was huge. They had no other choice but to group up, but was it worth it here? It absolutely was, because Guru and Bedtime Story light them up in that side corridor with nowhere to run. And that all started because they had no other choice but to use that invisible boundary against the Phoenix Ultimate and just allowed Pizza Demon to get that eat up with Itch Jeff.
Talk about, like, if one thing doesn't work, do another. I mean, they were going to go with the Groot tree. Then they're like, all right, let's throw down the Phoenix, the god from above, the Celestial, and then bam, we've got the Jeff ult that finishes the job and the exclamation point. 29% just like that to 45. Bedtime Story looking for the opening pick, and they have plenty of ults, both teams now, for what's going to be our Infinity War.
Now, one team banned out triple Vanguards, the other team banned out triple Strategists, and with a Groot Hog bringing everyone to go, Guru then follows up to put a Group Hog for himself, but it doesn't work out as Gale's in a perfect position to try to get this res, but this is the green light for Hoffman to keep this going again and again with these reset potentials here. Bucket Barnes coming into play. He gets a scoop up, but Pizza Demon is being the demon himself. The Eye of Agamotto, it really only found Gilbert here, and Bedtime Story is the insurance policy to keep their feet planted on this point.
Oh, Gilbert now does get that wall that he wanted. Oh my goodness, what a clean sweep and absolute wipe. Yeah, I mean, Pizza Demon, such a perfect name for Jeff, you know, Satan's greatest soldier, like I like to call him here. Oh my gosh, what a turnaround there. Hey, same thing happened on this map with Extinction. You know, they lost the first point and kind of turned it around. Intergalactic did use a good amount there. They've got the boundary, they have the Phoenix, but Rad can match it easily.
I totally agree. You know, Pizza Demon, with Jeff being as cute as he is, you can't fool me between what is behind those eyes. Pizza Demon having that ultimate online Forky Dog with the invisible boundary. Fidel's gonna have to be careful here because that's what they can expect once they're forced to be grouped up together once again. But a nice little pickoff from Bedtime Story with Gale getting that follow both Vanguards off from Intergalactic.
Yeah, you got two hit scan, absolute heroes, and that's what you love to see as now we have Doom closing in trade with Bedtime Story. Forky Dog, though, gets the other strategist out. That's going to be a big opener. Gale does it. We have a Angela cam, folks. Your eyes do not deceive you. The stab, the finish, going for that strategist. And finally, what elite DPS there from Angela. But Pizza Demon getting it done. Jeff the Shark. They do have the portal, though, Vic, and the little...
Pizza Demon taking that KOs too, just living true to the Jeff nature here sometimes as Flamme keeps Intergalactic alive for now as the invisible boundary was countered from Rad Esports. Angela Ultimate here just bringing up together as Bedtime Story is the shish kebab that they need. The follow-up, the double KO with Gale and Gilbert being the final blow for this first round.
Yeah, Bedtime Story absolutely saying goodnight there on our first map. Super Soldier Factory up next, and that team just had to kind of get some things rolling. And when I say that they lost that neutral fight, I'm like, I don't love this team for the neutral right away. It's kind of the ults that they have behind them, right? You know, we saw that Vicky Giddy with the Jeff ult, and then also finally Gilbert getting that huge tree in the imprisonment.
And look at this right now currently with the stats, right? Forky Dog out here, 13 healing, 13k healing, but Flamme has been trying to keep everybody alive with 17k here. As on Rad Esports, you could see the damage flowing here. Bedtime Story was on fire on that Phoenix, and as you mentioned too, Cozy, Gale was on top of that placement, not only getting that res, but also in terms of the aggression for his positioning.
Hey, Guru, by the way, 15-0. Hasn't been eliminated there from Angela. Not the craziest damage, but that is not the role of Angela, right? And I love that he's starting to perfect that hero at play. We saw Sentinels play them, and they got the dub, and it's looking good so far for Rad. Now, moving forward here into the ult economy, it's definitely it's definitely in favor of Rad by a country mile.
See, the Angela gameplay, this is what I came for when I was expecting the MRI Stage 2 with Season 4 right here. Bedtime Story going right back over to that Phoenix. And Forky Dog with the pull-in calls out Dogman, who didn't even have an opportunity to even swap to a diamond form to be able to get disrupted. And now the group hug has set Rad Esports in the driver's seat. Forky Dog taking them all up for himself.
I've seen this team play a lot. I've watched the streams. If you guys want to see the POV, you can go over to Gale and friends and Guru. But listen, this team's comms is elite. They are so good at calling things out, and right now we're seeing that come to life. You know, the teams we saw previously, great teams, but we're seeing now the elite when it comes to exactly what to do. I knew this Solaris of old team, now Rad, had what it took, and they're showing it right now.
See, keeping them up because they already have that res here from the Adam Warlock. Pizza Demon 2 just waiting with Fidel having that invisible boundary, but somebody help the torch. Doomed going back to the safety of the Intergalactic backline here because Angela is here to disrupt the piece. It is Guru, and this is a perfect stage 2 to do so. But look at the explosions following up together as everybody's grouped up together. Pizza Demon finding Dogman again, but with the group hug, and you got the invisible boundary. This is the green light right now for Pizza Demon to eat everybody up, but it's just Groot that he takes the counter pick immediately as Hoffman has the answer to the It's Jeff with the Bucky Barnes utilizing that ultimate.
Yeah, so they were allowed to play a little bit more aggressive there, Vicky, right? Because you have the res. That's what you want to do. Try to get the Jeff ult if you can. But instead, it is the turnaround. Rad Esports, so they did exactly what was the game plan. Hey, go out there, be a little crazy. If you get eliminated, not a big deal. We'll get you right back in the fight. And just like that, they're back capped on that point. And not only that, Vic, Intergalactic used so much to win that. That is why going against an Atom is tough.
That's a very good point here, too. At least they got to almost 20% in this case. And you look at the ult economy, though, and Rad Esports, they used up a lot. They're about to have that Angela ultimate coming up soon, but Dogman with the Psionic Seduction could shut that down here, depending on if they could try to push in from this choke, because Bedtime Story is just unleashing so much of this damage output as the Psionic Seduction nearly blocked there from the enemy group walls here over to the other side, but still calls out Gilbert, who gets choke slammed and almost stands against the wall as Dogman is going to be able to get that first KO.
Yeah, I got to give it to Dogman there. They were just trying to get a little bit of space, and they ended up getting a whole KO out of it, which is massive now as Bedtime Stories, Forky, and Gale, though, are going to just trade on it. Unfortunately, unable to go with what was happening now. Getting the allies out, has that tree once again, and bye-bye goes... I mean, so sadness there. Oh, wow. Yep. Goodbye, Blur.
It was so low.
We got the portal coming back, though, Vic, so once again, they can touch.
Recontesting now with overtime ticking away, having to look around though. They have the invisible boundary, the Angela. That was so scary. You know that dude clenched in that moment right there, avoiding the environmental KO. The slam down from Bedtime Story. The output of that same damage as Dogman goes out. Hoffman's going to meet him back in the spawn, and it's even through Flamme having that Luna Snow ultimate. The Groot hug though brings everybody together, and it's so much to think about with Guru also splitting their attention alongside Bedtime Story.
We are just seeing perfect comms come to light here. Guru with the pick, Pizza to follow. This team knows what happened last time in Ignite. They will not get the same result. They refuse it now as we have Wolverine Hoffman trying to stall. More stall, but not enough. It's Rad in their unique comp, which I love that they've carried on this from the old Rad, and they got themselves the dub.
That's what I was wondering. Are we going to see unorthodox comps coming out from Rad? Of course, I shouldn't have expected any different, and we get to see the Angela in the spotlight. You love to see it with Forky Dog taking the MVP with the best recolor, by the way, on the Invisible Woman skin.
I mean, tell me who to even highlight that. I mean, obviously, Bedtime Stories did so well, Vic, but just across the board, Gale never fell, right? Always just there for the res. Pizza Demon was insane consistently as the Jeff. Forky we saw with the clutch plays of pulling in and getting that MVP. It's like, who do you even even give the MVP, obviously, Forky Dog too, but they all should get the shout out.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, because then you also have Gale. The survivability is insane. Sure, that healing output, you know how Adam Warlock is. It's about making sure you have a lot coming out from that res. You want to make sure it's impactful in that equation. And of course, Bedtime Story being on Phoenix, talk about the damage output that we just saw from Bedtime Story there. But Rad with Pizza Demon also on the Jeff, showcasing that even in domination, as we've already seen before, getting that 5-man rather and getting everybody over to the other side, that is crazy. This work right here is the exact reason why it is so lethal to deal with a Jeff, and then following up a Bedtime Story, having everyone in close quarters. That is a Phoenix's dream.
Listen, I think there's one major thing to highlight here, and it's that if you look at the pick and bans, right, Rad had Magneto, Doctor Strange, and Emma Frost banned for them. They forced their hands at this Angela unique comp, which obviously Guru does like to play. But then you also have Gilbert Noodle just going right into the most comfortable Groot that I've seen. I mean, that is how you adapt right there. They had their plan, it folded on them, and that's what I want to commend there, because they forced a Vanguard lineup and they did not get the result they wanted.
It also shows that adaptability too. Even if you're going to come out to play with a non-meta composition, Guru did exactly what we have to see Angelas do now. And on that second round too, it works out great because you could try to fish for more of these environmental KOs, just as we've seen Invisible Woman do plenty of times. Forky Dog though, getting that MVP after 22,000 healing in general, 9,000 damage out here. Great follow-ups, but also even better with the invisible boundary timing.
Yeah, and I've got to highlight, this is why I love Season 4. Yes, it's a lot of triple strategists and whatnot, but I love the difference that we've seen in the Ultimates, right? And seeing so much more fun play from Invisible Woman, I think, is a good highlight. We've now had double MVPs, reversed now, Forky to follow, obviously as just an elite hero at the moment. But yeah, listen, this team, I knew their comps were great. I wanted to see how they came together. For me, it was how they utilized their ultimates too. They never went all in for one thing unless they needed to in that Jeff, instance. But other than that, they just perfected the Angela play to what, was the hand they were dealt.
You know, something to highlight about Invisible Woman, yes, we are feasting out here this season, my Sue-maids. Forky Dog was also very on point with the placement of the Invisible Woman shield that I think needs to be talked about a lot, especially when you have Guru flying around a lot. You get to burst out that shield to get that burst healing too, while still prioritizing Gilbert and his positioning. That shield, I think Forky Dog had, I believe, 2,000 more damage block than we saw from Fidel, which could be tricky when you're also dealing with Pizza Demon being on that, Jeff.
Yeah, I couldn't say better myself, guys. Intergalactic is going to go back to the drawing board, see what they want to cook up for the pick bands, and then we have Rad just doing what they've been doing, guys, and that is winning with dominance. We're going to go to a quick break. Don't go anywhere for our next matchup. We'll be right back. What's going on, guys? Welcome back again. We are here, Marvel Rivals Ignite Group Stage 2, Day 2, Vicky, and we just saw Rad with a dominant performance there against Intergalactic. And this is what I have to point out. In my spare time, I had a couple minutes there for the break, just like you guys. We went on over to the Twitch, looked for them streaming. Last time they were streaming, they wanted people to be there, the content kings. No, they are locked in, Vicky, this time around. No one's online. They're all focused.
You know that their foreheads are basically touching that monitor, probably getting that better gamer chair just ironed out here too. You know how it's how you say it about the gamers who need to stay locked in because they learned their lesson, you know, going into stage now number 2, seeing what they need to readjust. And Guru did it with Angela. You gotta talk about a little bit of a nuisance Guru was disrupting the piece, and also the displacements that we saw with that unorthodox composition rolled out by Rad.
And just pumped to see them here. I was sitting there on the stage, and Guru, he's looking around, and he's like, Jose, I got to get here. I got to get my team here.
Motivation.
We got to get here together. It's just so cool, especially when you see it, right? And, he even stepped in for a couple games of casting. That was fun to see there from a player's point of view, right? But jumping into it, yeah, you're 100% correct. I want to see if now Intergalactic is going to go with that same Vanguard approach, because I don't know if they were expecting Gilbert Noodle to get, 9 ultimate limbs there. I mean, the man popped off.
That and like the counter that you have to deal with when you're Invisiwoman and you ult, especially when you're just trying to keep everybody alive and you don't have your secondary strategist ultimate to then resustain in case something goes wrong. Then the Jeff comes in, and as I call him, little Jeffrey Dahmer, sliding in to be able to get that it's Jeff, and everyone's already grouped up for him. It's like a free feast, as if Thanksgiving came early here, and that's what you get to capitalize, especially when the invisible boundary is the only insurance that you have to resustain for a fight.
Yeah, what's cool is that, the type of comms that we're seeing is when you see something like, okay, you've got the Groodle, that doesn't happen. Then right after that, you have the follow-up from the Phoenix. Within milliseconds, you have to call out, none of that worked. Jeff, it's you, right? And that's all happening in just microseconds.
Literally, it's Jeff. Like, they actually send them out. And then the fact that they also follow up, and instead of taking them off the map, sending them over to that side corridor, you have to also imagine this helps build into the next fight ultimates. Even if, Pizza Demon doesn't get everybody in that moment, it's the whole concept of, all right, well, this is going to build into the next Phoenix ultimate. This is going to allow everybody to just regroup after they just unleashed everything. And it's about timing. How do you build up those ultimates to then re-prepare for the following fight?
Yeah, no, seriously, and it's going to be fun. We have replay after replay to show you guys, but, it's going to be cool if we see the strategy remain the same with this team here as we jump in and taking a look here. So check out Gale on Hawkeye interrupting Strange Portal incoming. This is something that we did not get to see. Oh my, from across the map! Are you kidding me? Oh, production, what an absolute W for sure. Yo, can we play that one more time? Is it possible? I know I'm throwing it on production here. Can we see that? Yeah, let's get that one more time because I am processing just how goated this man is. We talked about him as the Hawkeye hero, the aim god. Watch this man, like, link with the ice arrows across the map with the jump.
Dude, read like a book. Homie provided the college textbook. Frame 1, the triple freeze across the... Because I saw it. I saw it at the very beginning. I don't know if you remember. I was like, dude, they had the invisible shield out. Like, I was wondering, like, how did they even get there so fast? And it was of course, it was the ice arrow when they were running the Luna Snow. Talk about the immediate read from the beginning.
The comms on that for Intergalactic side, they're probably like, all right, guys, we portal up here, and then, like, what hit us? What, where, who, the hacks? Nope, it's Gale with the absolute, that is called practice in perfection and studying your opponent and knowing what they like to do, Vic. W production. All right, y'all, we're going to see that on Twitter later. We head into stage 2 yet again, Rad versus Intergalactic. Will we see more craziness coming from Gale? We're about to find out.
Let's get this going. You're wondering which map we're going to be moving on to as we... Okay, it's going to be Yggdrasil over onto Convoy here as Rad are going to be the ones to start on defense. So you already know coming out of the table, we're going to have that triple Vanguard lineup here perhaps as we're going to see which of these teams want to prioritize which role they want to man. Are we going to see the triple Vanguard again, triple strategist, and it's the Atom and the Mantis. I like this call out though from Intergalactic. They did not like how long Guru stayed alive. As you mentioned, Cozy, he literally did not get KO'd once in that first round.
Yeah, and Gale, just incredible. Talk about self-awareness after we saw what he just did with the arrow, but being able to never be eliminated, always had the res ready to go. Yggdrasil, a great map to do it, so they're shutting that down. Double Ultron saves. I've seen a lot of people play Ultron on both sides here. We'll have to see. Doomed loved to play that whenever it was the old team. And then if you look here towards, I think it was bedtime. It's bedtime stories, I believe, for this team. But Gale can also float, so we'll see a ton of Ultron as Mantis and the damage boost won't be with us. Next ban going out, I would have to guess, you know, if you are Intergalactic, who are you trying to focus down here? Is it another Emma?
Just wondering here. Honestly, the biggest problem too, man, Forky Dog was just on another level. Pizza Demon 2 was a problem. Do you want to be able to lean into another strategist ban, though, is the question, as the protect onto the Emma is what is prioritized for Rad.
I mean, that great point. We're actually seeing a complete reversal in what their strategist was, or their strategy was going in. They did all the Vanguards this time around. They're like, okay, well, that didn't work so well. Have the Emma, let them, you know, save that. Let's try something different and get rid of some of these great heroes like Bedtime Stories, Phoenix, like we just saw. Invisible Woman going out, so it's more the strategist ban approach. If it's not one, it's the other.
I agree with this. That's what I was wondering. Like, are you going to prioritize how, like, Forky Dog put in crazy impact, still had over 9,000 damage as Invisible Woman, and every Sioux main understands, like, you know, sometimes that damage impact, it hurts. It's more like a tickle on the nose, but Forky Dog had that as the protect over onto the Emma Frost now from both sides come out.
Yeah, that was important. I'm glad they got the Emma, you know, to follow, and they probably got what they wanted. Intergalactic, we'll have to see if it was the right call. I'm surprised we didn't get a Hawkeye ban. I mean, come on, even though it was for 1 second.
What?
Still thinking about it, right? Venom, though, being banned on the opposite side, they don't want anything to do with that symbiote, as the heroes are locking in. Intergalactic up first on the offense. This is a very heavy triple strat, triple Vanguard, first defensive hold.
You know, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm still thinking about that Hawkeye play. I'm just disgusted. But you know what? I'm looking forward to some more plays like that as we get started here within our second round. The protection 2 on the Ultron here. I'm wondering if we're gonna see that Mantis side by side as we are going onto Yggdrasil.
Yeah, we don't get this map enough. We used to get it all the time, and I feel like, in fact, I think it was the MRC we just did. I'm like, man, I love this map. It always is such a close one. This first point is the same kind of thing we see with the Racco. You've got that first hit, and then you're going to tally back. You have to face twice now, and it's about 3 wins to get the first point on this map here. As we take a look at Asgard as a whole. This is Royal Palace. Haven't seen this puppy in forever since
wow.
Season 1, but we are looking at Asgard, and this heavenly place is ready for battle.
I'm ready here. It's been 50 years. Love being able to see. Oh! I was gonna say that is not what I was expecting. All right, they have to get us a little bit here. This beautiful place, got to put it on the back burner because we are going on to Yggdrasil and we are getting started on Convoy as Rad Esports Guru has not moved away from the Angela as they are rocking that triple Vanguard, triple strategist with Forky Dog being on that rocket for the BRB.
Hometown advantage for Angela here in Asgard. Love to see the return of the one-wing angel now. Bedtime on that Magneto, switching from the Phoenix band, forced to go with what we saw as the triple Vanguard. And I love Guru here on Angela. It's great to play into this. Allows them to be very tricky here, but no, it's going to be Blur with the first pick on Bedtime, forcing them into a room of absolute death and chaos. Dogman to follow. This is not what you want to see, and now we're going to get a strange portal back. Almost, yeah, definitely.
That is the group playground that you are working with inside that side corridor. Talk about all that damage up. Oh my gosh, the placement on the rocket. Sia there too, up on the high ground, just giving everybody some notice as now it's Jeff comes into play. Flamay taking a little page out of what we had seen earlier on. Forky Dog also the problem, but it's going to be able to capture 2 just to isolate them and throw them back into Intergalactic's backline before Doomed is the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, and a good stagger there, too. I also like that we didn't see them use the Strange immediately. Now, Bedtime Story's going to that option. Belay, good job just trying to get a little bit of a stall on and watching cooldowns. You couldn't get the Loki Lanterns out or anything with it. Here comes the portal now. They're coming to it, and look at the placement of the Star-Lord. Instant barrage, spin to win, as my buddy Shib says it here. In the Legendary to follow, Cowboys, guns up. Here we go, chasing, wasting, honestly, this ultimate. And, wow, what a hide-and-seek job from Forky Dog.
I mean, he didn't take care of the VRB. Was it worth it, though, for the Legendary? As you talk about it, as Hoffman tries to force out the ultimate from the backline. Pizza Demon had gotten that god of mischief here as Gilbert Noodle tries to follow up with the Feast of the Abyss. Vidal keeps everybody in Intergalactic alive as Blur gets frozen. Aya Agamotto finds Hoffman and Doom. Doom gets away in time. Same thing can't be said, though, about Hoffman as Gale gets to isolate him with a headshot.
And we've got people all over the heroes with trying to switch to the Strange and more. And right now it's Intergalactic getting the game that they want here. And great job from Flamay, watching their Vanguards not get isolated and keeping them alive. And Venom escapes nearly. Gilbert, though, going down as well. And so we saw what is sometimes a 3-battle win turn quickly into just 2. They should be able to touch, though. Guru did get eliminated early, so he should be able to go on if they so choose, but we'll see what the shot call is.
Giving them some extra time here as Intergalactic gonna try to walk this over, but they have to consider that recontest. Yep, with the Angela ultimate, tries to bring them all together. Nice little stall here as It's Jeff gets activated. Now Flamay having that online here, trying to get everybody grouped up together and gets one, at least here in this case, as Pizza Demon gets some revenge onto Flamay. Number advantage in favor, though, for Rad Esports for now, and here comes that Legendary from Doomed. He's putting it all on the table here with no sustainability as Flamay had gone down a little earlier, and Fidel's making his way back, but that's with the Sia also coming in from Forky Dog to allow Rad Esports to recontest.
Hey, better than the last one. I like that Legendary better than the last one. I mean, Heaven fell, and so did all of Rad with them enjoying the battle. That was a great job just getting that momentum back. Absolutely incredible awareness and sustain now as we have Gilbert trying to get back to the team and reset. Bedtime Stories going to that Peter that we know and love here. And on the defense, I mean, you gotta love trying to get this first hold on the third battle. Doom now farming back up.
Talk about the time right now as less than 30 seconds on the clock, and Doomed is able to find that first pick onto Pizza Demon, who can't use It's Jeff for right now. Silent Seduction, though, as Dogman's just trying to find one person, looks back up at Guru, who's trying to float away as it ends at the very end, and now Bedtime Story slides in with the Legendary. Look at that Emma Frostbeam, by the way, while Bedtime Story is trying to utilize a statue to get out of the line of sight. Both strategists, though, in the backline are getting harassed by Bedtime Story, but they have that sustainability for now before Hoffman goes down inevitably.
A good cleanup there, and my goodness, it's overtime already. The bar is going down, and Gilbert gets 3 with Gale's help alongside it. And that, folks, is going to wrap this thing up on the first point. What an absolute dominant hold here. We do have the Strange Portal coming, but it's tick, tick, tick as it goes away. And wow, what a hold from Rad.
Not even the first checkpoint. Rad. They are looking like they are on fire, especially with the compositions that they are rolling out with Cozy.
I mean, listen, sometimes streamers, they like to do content plays. Sometimes they go for the meta play. Guru's doing a little bit of both. I mean, to make Angela work in this team lineup has just been nothing but sensational and fun to watch here. But hey, listen, job's not finished. Intergalactic can still get this thing. It's going to be a very tough hold. We'll have to see how they are on the triple Vanguard play as Dogman. We've got Magneto, Emma, and Groot. Now, Bedtime Story going to that Moon Knight, and Gale with the Storm. That's going to be lethal.
Guru also making that swap over to the Wolverine, obviously way better in this case than an Angelo when it comes to trying to break out of that choke. Let's see what they're going to be rolling out with here too. They'll have some extra shield here with that Forky Dog BRB, and then looking on the other side, as well as the BRB allowing them to recontest, but then looking with Intergalactic, who's been popping off out here. Doomed has been able to find 6 final hits thus far, over 10,000 damage here, so he's been pretty on point, and not only staying alive, but also putting in a lot of that pressure.
Yeah, one of my favorites of the old Shroud X, so fun to see them in the new team still have that success. This is what you love to see about the strategist meta right now. Pizza Demon was Loki, a bit better of that defensive hold, right? But now you've got the Jeff pick. We saw Flamay have that. Now they traded roles, so we're seeing kind of the pro scene and when they like to play and what. I love looking at kind of the numbers and the intricate pieces of the game. As now we're going in, pushing in, and just like that, Guru does get a quick kidnap, but no success there. But it's going to at least get them backing up a bit.
Yeah, Gilbert was just trying to react right there with the walls, and another wall to meet them from Blur here over to the other side. You know what the goal is when you see Bedtime Story onto that Moon Knight. Same thing with Gale onto the Storm. They're just trying to break through this triple Vanguard, triple strategist lineup here through this choke. And look at Guru right now, who is slicing and dicing as Blur gets taken out. He's got the BRB to recontest from Hoffman.
What does this team do perfectly? They combo, and here it is. Conchu, the imprisonment. Goodbye, Intergalactic, sending them right back to space. I mean, we knew this team is locked in when it comes to combos. What is the best combo right now? It's got to be that. And wow, good night, says Bedtime Story.
Pretty fitting for the name, right? Putting them to sleep right now, giving them a story that they'll never forget, because right now with that Moon Knight, they broke through, and remember, they didn't even get to that first checkpoint.
Yeah, 2 teams with new names, similar players here as the portal unlocks, goes on that top ground. They've got to win this fight or it is over into the lower bracket for Intergalactic. Bedtime Story staying up high with that damage boost from the Storm being so lethal. They've got the Hurricane. We can expect more than a Cat 1, I can tell you that, from Gale here, and they've got the Jeff to follow.
This was a beautiful peel back, though, from this team the moment they heard the Sia. Now we get another kidnap, by the way, with a follow from Gilbert, as well as the Omega Hurricane from Gale. Yes, you can try to call in the invisible boundary, but it isn't going to be enough for Fidel as he gets taken freaking out. You talk about it, Kelsey. This is hurricane season, and here we have Gale providing what we asked for as Intergalactic are wiped out once again.
What a fitting and cinematic way to put the punctuation. I told you, it's not going to be a Cat 1. We know what they can. At least you're in Florida over there, I believe, right? So you got yourself hurricane season to the biggest degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, getting it done. And that was an absolute dominant performance from Rad.
Not only was it a speed run for that second map specifically, but it's like the characteristics from the plays that we just saw. First off, that freeze, such a Gale moment. Second of all, the Angela plays from Guru, such a Guru thing to do, right? And cohesion with this team right now and the way that they were able to follow up from these unorthodox compositions was amazing. Gale broke through, the way that they peeled back, talk about communication. They saw Hoffman put down that Sia and was able to just back away, wait it out, just made it go to waste essentially before re-engaging with that insane Omega Hurricane.
It's like you see teams in sports just keep getting away with getting great players, great teams year after year. You know the other orgs are like, Rad can't keep getting away with this, right? They get the whole win in the midseason finals. They have a whole new team under their belt, and they come out like that. I'm sure they're very happy with that performance, as well as Solars and the team, the stream team, as we like to call them. Absolute greatness here, and just fun to see off-meta picks work at such a high level as well, Vicky. Again, head to toe, I think you can highlight just about anybody, but yeah, as soon as I saw the Omega Hurricane, I knew exactly what Gale was about to cook up.
Oh, man, I mean, we're not out of the hurricane season just yet. You said it. I am in Florida, and we get to see those pretty often, but that was pretty deadly right there, too, from the storm. The group up together, but what a hold specifically when we saw Rad on this defense and the way that they were able to recontest. Bedtime Story had so many pop-off moments. We were talking about the amount of final hits that we saw from Bedtime Story, and then you put him on the Moon Knight. You break their hold, and you get the Wombo combo off of the Groot hug.
No, absolutely. And that is what this team did so well, is they just were, you could depend on them. Like, you know, when you saw the Moon Knight and Groot, you just knew it was going to follow up the way it did. And so we're seeing that right now. Jeff Nato and more going absolute crazy. Well, it's so fun to see, because when Jeff Nato, you know, was introduced, we were all kind of chuckling at it, and now it's just become what it is, even after a little bit of a nerf. Rad, though, getting the win, and all I know, Vic, is you've got Rad versus either Odyssey or Dreamland. That is going to be such a good map as we see the MVP Gale and the numbers they put up.
That's going to be insane. I can't wait to see how that's going to play out, especially with the meta that we, or rather the composition that we just saw roll in. You talk about Gale, and that play at the very end was Chef's Kiss, 15 KOs out here. Of course, don't let the smaller numbers deceive you, because that was literally a speed run of a second map.
No, I mean, seriously, clock it, right? I mean, you got to look at the website and see what the final time was in that entire 2-0 finish. Listen, we've seen now 2 2-0s, but I think one was a lot more decisive than the other. And at this level of play, it's going to be so interesting if you could see this in the next match. But guys, we wanted to see Guru. We've got Guru here for the interview, and let's go ahead and welcome him on in. Last time I saw him was in China. What's up, buddy?
Yo!
Good to see you, man.
What's up?
Dude, I have so many things to say, Guru, but like, first of all, we see the Angela, right? And I'm like, oh, the content play, you love to see it. But then you make it the play. Brother, let's start with that. Angela, man, how did you guys make it work? I know you're a big fan. How does this all feel?
Dude, Angela, like, everybody thinks she's bad, whatever, like, but my team was so supportive in just like losing scrims over and over and over. Because I was just like one-tricking Angela, and people just aren't putting respect on it, I guess. And feeling so good.
Guru, first off, I just have to say that it is lovely to see your face and to talk to you, man. I've actually been like a lurker for a hot minute, like watching you guys and the way that you guys have actually been able to make the comeback after, you know, your mentality coming out of stage 1. Very respectable and formidable, you know, competitor that you are. Going into the mindset into stage 2, you talk about Angela and you still feel confident with the hero. Tell us a little bit about how your mentality has shifted looking at this team and what you guys have built up together.
Yeah, mentality going into it, like just creating an environment where everybody can just try out new things. Like one day we'll have Gilbert, he just feels like playing Thor all day, or I'm on Angela or Wolf or whatever. The nice thing about my team is that we just try to make anything work, and we can make it work. There's a way to make it work no matter what. I think metas are kind of fake in this game. You can just play it a certain way and just win the game. That's what I love about this game.
Listen, we saw that right with Rad of now EMEA. We said opening the match. I love that we had such a unique comp and they won the whole mid-season with the unique comp. And then we're right back with a new Rad and unique comps, right? I have to ask, man, last time we had the pleasure of, meeting each other, being together, it was on stage, right? You were looking around. I remember I opened with this, you're like, man, I got to get back here. I got to get here with my team. I mean, you guys had such a tough draw in stage 1. We talked about that, and getting, it doesn't get any easier going to stage 2, but man, what an opening, buddy. Like, just talk to me a little bit about how the fellas feel in general with this openings for stage 2.
Dude, we're feeling good. For the first time ever, we're like actually winning. We've been losing for 9 months, and now we're actually like, it feels like we're improving, not just like cheesing scrims or cheesing wins. Like, we actually have learned how to play the game well. And yeah, it's all just coming together. The boys are feeling good.
Well, dude, you got this next matchup potentially with Odyssey or Dreamland, both really solid teams. And so you definitely have, your work cut out for you over there. But, I know you guys will be ready for the challenge ahead. Guru, you got to promise it. We got to see more Angela. Now that's been, revealed that you guys going to play, we got to see more. Okay. And that's my request.
They're banning it, bro. It's not getting to the draft anymore, I don't think.
Vicky?
I'm good, man. I got enough. I had to see enough with that, Angela. Definitely. Actually, no. One thing, actually. Your approach with Angela in a composition like this, we're seeing a lot of these triple vanguards and the triple strategists. Do you have any advice for the Angelas at home that are trying to practice this character to make this character work? Because I'm expecting to see an onslaught of triple vanguard goat like metas coming into rank eventually. What would you suggest to the Angelas that want to force this to work? As you said, that you don't believe in metas going on in this game, that you think anything could work if you put your mind into it.
Advice for Angela players, just like fly around more. You don't always have to be doing something or always be fighting. Just like fly and just watch, look for your opening and then
subscribe to Guru. Go and check him out. Watch the man play. Listen, I gotta ask, you scrim so much with Gale, and you see this man pull off, crazy things. It's kind of like a star football player. It's like he's always doing crazy things. So, like, to you, it's become more normal. You witnessed the ice arrow that this guy pulled off at the beginning of Hydra Base. Did you know what happened? Because if you haven't, you need to go back and see this replay. It's insane.
Oh yeah, I know what happened. I had to say, yo, can we swap for an ice arrow? Can we interrupt the portal? Can we swap? I had to say it 7-8 times. This guy, but yeah, he's the GOAT.
Well, it worked, man. It worked, and the people loved it. But we're gonna, you know what? Let's roll it up. Let's show it again for everyone who maybe missed the opening there from Gale. And this is what I love about you guys. Not only do you play, unique things, but you also have always been kind of a step ahead in strategies. There's the portal with the strange with the Punisher turret last time, and now we've got
my boy.
Crazy.
That's
chaos.
my boy.
It's so good. The aura forming's insane, but. Listen, bud, it's good to talk virtually on here, and I hope now I get to talk to you again on the main stage in now Atlanta, but this time, man, you're playing.
Oh, we'll see you there, bro. We'll see you there.
Oh, pumped for it, buddy. Well, good luck out there. Good luck against Dreamland or Odyssey. Just a pleasure. I asked for you because I had to come and say what's up, give my best to the team, say congrats to them, and yeah, we'll see you guys here soon for the seeding and more, bud. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that is going to be a Guru, and man, what a guy. Got to know him a lot, and he's good, super chill. The absolute antithesis of probably myself. But guys, if you thought that matchup was heated, Vic, we've got 100 Thieves versus Alani win next.
That is going to be insane, by the way. I feel like I keep highlighting that. It's just the fact that we've had the last 2 series, even though it's been 2-0s, don't let that deceive you. Like the talent that we have seen thus far and the change up between different compositions have been on another level, Cozy.
Well, we've got a lot to break down with these 2 teams and storylines, but you're going to have to wait just a second. We're going to take a quick break and then get to our third match of the day.